So going back to the worksheet, assuming that we watched the whole video, it talked about each natural disaster. So if everyone could just pick one disaster and then list the steps that were listed to the safety steps mentioned in at least 3 sentences. Okay, so I would like to hear everyone's feedback on the video and on the emergency situations listed. So my first question to everyone is, what did you think of the video and the different safety strategies? And then my second question is, which natural disasters are more likely to occur in our state? So that one's kind of a given. We tend to see more earthquakes in our state. And then how will you stay safe from these types of disasters? So this is just like we'll be sharing verbally, or we could just share in the chat box. And moving on to staying safe. So the 5 steps that are more common. So each natural disaster has its own unique way to stay safe from, and however, there are still ways in which safety strategies relate to each disaster and emergency. So the first step and the most common one is to stay informed and tune into local authorities for information about evacuations and safety tips. So normally when natural disasters happen or some type of big emergency happens within like schools and things, normally you'll be informed right away. They could be they could be shared on the radio or on TV, obviously on the news. So it's better to stay aware by tuning into those things. And then number 2 is to have a plan for the evacuation. So again, that's the overall biggest step to take when trying to prepare for one of these things. And number 3, to keep emergency kits on hand at all times. So normally schools always should have these and will have these. So that's one thing that not many of you have to worry about. And number 4, avoid unnecessary risks. And number 5, to go to the safest area in your home, school, job, wherever you may find yourself at the time. So it's now time to share. So here we have 4 questions. So the first one is, have you ever experienced a natural disaster? If so, what did you do prior to the lesson? What would have been your first step or for your first reaction when it happened? Now that you have learned about the different ways to stay safe, what will you be doing different? Be sure to write down any experiences on your notes and share with a peer. So on the handout that I handed you guys, you guys can use the backspace and either write down or share with a peer. And for my practice and assessment, so basically it's the worksheet that you see right here. So just make sure to follow the instructions on your notes worksheet, and you will be asked to share and turn in your safety plan at the end of the class. So we've already done the first portion of the worksheet, which is the video instructions portion on top. So the activity portion on the bottom, which is the towards the bottom, it's list the steps in which you will take to stay safe during an earthquake. And the reason I chose an earthquake is because in California, we tend to experience earthquakes more. And you may list or draw these. You will be asked to share your plan at the end of the class, and you may choose to act out your plan as well, just for extra credit. For example, like the duck and cover form when an earthquake happens. I think that one is an easy one to act out. And you could also use